Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning, July the 9th, I guess. Welcome back. Oh my gosh, I got the stupid zit on the end of my nose. Whatever, you'll just ignore that, I hope. I need to remove that little thingamajiggy there because that's not due quite yet. Let's put that back where it belongs. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindset Masterclass number 8, Wednesday edition. And today's talk is all about transformation. I'm excited to be here and I'm excited to have you here. And I hope that you enjoy. I hope that you watch a significant portion of this and all the way down to the end because I do have a special offer for you here today. It's not an offer that I'm selling. It's an offer that I'm offering you on behalf of one of my partners, one of my cohort partners, one of my fellow coaches, and you're going to want to stay tuned for that. So I said today's talk is all about transformation. And so we'll begin with just a reminder, a recap of the three of the key principles that I believe are crucial for, um, to have in your mindset, why mindset is important and why I'm doing this for you. So number one is your mindset matters, and your mindset matters because your transformation matters. Without the right mindset, you cannot transform. You will not transform. You will at least not transform as much as you possibly could into as much as you possibly could become. So your mindset is very important for that reason. Number two, invest in yourself. And you should invest in yourself because you are your greatest asset. When you invest in yourself, you can and you absolutely will transform. I'm going to put this little banner up here because I want you to see this. This is an Instagram reel that you'd be strongly encouraged to view. It's pretty short, a minute or two, probably less than 2 minutes. I'm not sure if you can click that link where you are, but certainly I'll put it in the notes in for this episode. But definitely click that link. There's a neat little thing there, perspective um, on where was I? On investing in yourself and how to have a different perspective on investing in yourself year after year. All right, let's hide that. Now, the third key principle that I want you to take away every week is that you should take one action today to move your transformation forward. Because without action, your dreams, the dreams you have, the dreams that you want to become reality, they just remain dreams. And you can't transform if you never take action to move your dreams forward. So take at least one action today to move your dreams forward, and I recommend that you follow my recommended action later in this episode for the special offer from my friend and fellow cohort partner and um, fellow coach, Coty Walker. So today again, we're talking about transformation. And when you talk about transformation, a transformation can happen to a person. It can happens in nature every day. It happens to animals. Happens in the sky. If you sit and watch the sky for very long, it transforms. And cities can transform. Countries, provinces, or states can transform. Well, here I'm coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And if you don't live in Calgary or aren't from Canada, you may not know that this week, this 10-day period we're in right now, we're in the middle of what's called Calgary Stampede. And the city of Calgary transforms during Calgary Stampede. Everyone virtually stops working, at least doing their traditional work. At least no one expects you to complete anything during Stampede because it's one giant cowboy party, hence the cowboy hat. Um, so cities can transform, and our city does. Half the people seemingly leave town and make way for all the visitors from around the province, around the country, around the world to come and celebrate the rodeo and celebrate cowboy culture and celebrate our great city of Calgary and just party and have a good time. We had Shania Twain opened our Stampede parade on last Friday. We have Pat Benatar We have Tom Cochran and others coming here today. Today, gonna be singing and presenting themselves. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, later today in Princess Island Park, and that's gonna be a fun time. There's Stampede breakfast every day all over the city, and there's fun things going every afternoon, every evening. So our whole city has transformed. So if you think that it's tough to to turn a tide, it is, right. The bigger the ship, the harder it is to turn. But even something as big as a city of 1.4 or 1.5 million can turn and transform for 10 days and become something somewhat different than what it is the rest of the year. We're still a town that likes to have fun and likes to get together, but it really is on steroids this week. So now, I want to just sort of introduce this topic of transformation with just a reminder. I think this worked well last week or 2 weeks ago when I did my number 7 edition, and that is just a quick definition from a good old interwebs of what is transformation. So, two thoughts here from the interwebs definition of transformation. One is a thorough or dramatic change in form or appearance. Okay, a thorough or dramatic change in form or appearance. The second is the process of changing who you are and becoming the person you want to be, or becoming who you really are inside. So you can imagine some people, maybe you fit into this, is that they, there's a version of them inside that they never really ever fully let out, or they never fully embrace, or they don't feel free to fully accept and be who they are to the outside world. They keep that private, and then there's other people who are themselves, but they want to become a better version of themselves, or they want to become a different version of themselves. So as human beings, so, and how they show up in the world. So two similar but different perspectives on what transformation means, and it is one of the key values that I hold in life is the importance of transformation. I don't believe everyone necessarily needs to transform their entire being into a entirely different person. Lots of people are good people, just find people the way they are, right? If they enjoy their life and they've made certain choices and they're happy with those, that's fine. Be happy. But other people are not happy with their life, their choices they've made, or choices others have made that affect them, and so they want some kind of a change in their life. And so I'll refer to that as a transformation. So I believe that if you're like most people, though, you have a dream, you have a desire or a need for something in your life to be different in some way. And you want to become better at something, or you want to learn something you don't know. You want to acquire or improve on a skill or an asset that you have. You want to do something that you've never done before. Case in point for me, I'll just pause here and interject. Karaoke, right? From a young age, I love to sing along to music on the radio. And in high school, I was in the choir. And for was it every year? I think I was in 3 years of choir. And I like to sing. I want to become a better singer. And in fact, one of my biggest fantasies as a youth was that I would one day become a rock star and sing on stages in front of thousands or tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, as a bona fide rock star. So I'm just saying, thank God he didn't do that. Yeah, and I thank God I didn't do that, because I probably would have ended up like your typical rock star. But in terms of all the bad choices that are common with that lifestyle. So, but I did my first karaoke song 2.5 years ago. Sang live at karaoke, and the song that I like, and I was told I did very well and much better than that person expected. So I've actually signed up for some vocal coaching, and I'm going to pursue that. And that's one thing that I want to transform, is my ability to sing, for all the reasons that you can imagine. Being a good singer would be helpful for life. So anyways, that might be something you want. You maybe want to, like say, do something you've never done before. You may want to create a new or different or better reality in your life, right? Whether you necessarily had a trauma or had a bad something go on in your life or not, you want something new and better to be different, to be a new reality in your life. So another way to say that is you want to become the kind of person who can be or do or can have what you want that you don't currently have, right? And in short, you want to expand or reduce something in your life. You want to create something completely new or remove something completely from your life. Excuse me. And you want your dream, those dreams you have in your mind that you've had for probably most of your life, you want those dreams to become a reality, right? The problem is, how do you transform into a person who looks dramatically different than the person you currently are? You can, it's sometimes visually, it's as simple as putting on clothing, changing your hairstyle, doing, that's the only hair I have to reference. I don't have any up here. Uh, you know, there's things you can do to change your appearance to look different when nothing has really changed inside of you, and sometimes that gives you a brief amount of confidence or something like that. That's not necessarily the change I'm talking about. But how do you transform into a person who looks dramatically different? You know, in terms of like how you show up, where you are, you're a different employee, you're a different spouse, you're a different sibling, you're a different child to your parents, you're a different parent to your children, grandchildren, whatever. Um, you're a different person in your community. You're a different person where people, if they looked at you, say now versus 10 years from now, they'll go, wow, what a transformation, right? What a different person. And ideally in a good way, right? Which I think, if you're watching this, your desires are good desires and you want to become more of good things, more of better, not more evil, I'm sure, in your life. So, but how do you do that? That's the problem, right? How do you create that transformation in your own life when you've never transformed anything? You've been through a transformation. You don't, you've not, you've seen it in, say, movies, or you've seen it in the social media, which is 90% fake. Um, or more. How do you begin the process of changing who you are into someone you've never been or never let yourself be? Right? How do you release that person that you really are on the inside out, when you've never showed up as that person before? And I think really the number one thing I can recommend is to find a guide, right? Find a guide, can help you begin and or complete a transformation like that. So now a couple words about guides. Guides should really have two key qualities, right? Three actually, but these two are without these two, the third one doesn't matter. Okay, lots of people have the third and they try to be a guide, but they don't have one or both of these things. Number one, a guide needs to have is they need to relate to what you've gone through or what you are going through, in what you're struggling with. They should be able to understand your struggle, your frustrations, and the factors that are inhibiting you from starting or from completing your transformation. So they should be able to empathize, in other words, with you. And another way to say it is they should actually care about the problem that you're facing, the challenges you have. So lots of people are expert at something, but they really could care less about anybody else, right? That's not something I would take on as a guide, right? If they show a lack of empathy for other people succeeding or other people healing or other people becoming better, or other people transforming in the way that they have done, that's not someone I would choose as a guide. Okay. The other thing is they should be capable of helping you start or complete your transformation. They should have the ability to help you, in other words, right? So they shouldn't just care. They should actually have some skill, some experience, some wisdom, some knowledge that is practically, in a practical way, useful to help you to achieve that and to become that and to go through that transformation, or to at least start a transformation where they can hand you off to another guide, or you can see, okay, I've taken things as far as I can with this guide. Let's find another guide. Okay. So they should be capable because either they've completed the transformation themselves, the same transformation or similar transformation that you are wanting to undergo, or they've helped others complete the same or a similar transformation. Right. So, if, for example, like one kind of transformation I've been involved in is, say, demolition of a wall, right? Um, if you and I've built walls, right? And I've put gyprock on and painted walls and this kind of thing, right? So I can do that kind of a transformation to a room, but I can't give you a makeover, redo your hair. I could maybe trim your beard if you have facial hair, but I could not do a in person, whole person, kind of physical person transformation, or like a makeover. I can make over a room, not a person. Okay. So you wouldn't want me to be a guide for transforming your personal attire and looks and all that. So now, not everyone who's been through a transformation, I mentioned this a minute ago, is qualified or can is qualified to be a guide because they can't necessarily empathize with you or with other people, or they just really don't want to, right? They might have created some kind of transformation, or on the surface create a transformation, but they may not have the underlying empathy or social skills to actually be a guide to other people. They may not be able to empathize with you and your particular challenges that you are facing and going through with your particular transformation. So keep all that in mind. Now, the next consideration, this is the third thing, is um, once they have the empathy, once they care about your problem and helping you solve it, um, and once they have the ability, skills, experience, etc., to help you solve it, you have to have access to them, right? So how do you access their knowledge, wisdom, experience? How do you access their guidance, right? Have they written a book? Have they published a video? Have they done interviews explaining what they did and what you can and should do to have a similar transformation? You can learn a lot from books, right? Lots of people have written books in past generations, or in current generations have written books, audio books, etc., done interviews, podcasts, videos explaining what they did, how they transformed, why, what motivated them, etc., what kept them going, all these kinds of things, right? Um, do they offer a coaching service, right? Program or a service to help you, right? Sometimes that's the best way because it gives you a deeper level of engagement with that guide, right? So I can read a book, I can put down the book, forget 90% what the book said. I might remember 10%, and that 10% is helpful and well multiple X times the value of what I paid in time and money for that knowledge. But having that person working with me, either one on one or in a group with other people trying to transform, that's significantly higher value and can create a transformation or start a transformation a lot faster and with a lot less pain than me just reading something in a book or watching a video and then trying to apply it as best I can without any specific guidance to me and my situation. Now, from my experience, generally in life, I used to own two horses, and I knew nothing about horses before I bought those horses, other than they were beautiful. Other than horses are beautiful, and I love horses. And I got that from my dad. My dad loved horses. I especially loved pintos and paints, and I just naturally gravitated to pintos and paints. Other horses look beautiful as well, but those are my favorite. My point is that one thing I learned from about coaching from dealing with horses is that two things. Well, one set of things, and then second thing. The second thing I'll say first. Sorry, I didn't have this written down. I'm ad hocing here. The second thing I want to share is that learning to work with horses, learn to communicate with horses, and learn to find your way with horses is a great way to learn how to interact with people. It is. There's a book. I was trying to find it. I was trying to Google it. I bought it years ago. I bought the physical copy. I don't know where it is. I might have given it away, or might have let it go as I moved around the world. But it's written by a cowboy based in the area around Swift Current, Saskatchewan, and it was about 20 or 30 years ago. It was written and published, and that's what it was about. It was about how learning to work with horses can teach you how to work with people. If I find it, I'll put it in the comments, or if someone knows what it is, please send me a link to that. But what I have written here, three things I learned about working with horses directly, personally, is one thing is that to get a horse is a big, stubborn animal, right? They're a powerful animal, as are you and I. Like we can be really stubborn and we can be like consciously stubborn in that we don't want to be told what to do or where to go or how to do things. We can be subconsciously stubborn in that we just change is hard, right? And we resist change and resist certain influences like that in our life. So the three ways that I think this happens when you're training horses. I think this happens when you're coaching people. I think this happens like as God or the universe is like guiding your life. Is there's three ways that you are guided primarily. One is you're gently advised, told, nudged, recommended to do something, to change, to go in a certain direction, right? On the horse, you might just sort of, tap your heel onto the side of the horse one way to indicate the direction you want them to go, or you might just gently pull the reins in one direction or the other to indicate where you want the horse to go. Now, if the horse doesn't, I'm just going to move this out of the way for a second so I can make sure you can see this. But if the horse doesn't move, right, and then you take a little stronger action, which I'd call, a moderate type of influence. So this is, let's see it. Okay, anyways, this is what I call a moderate. This is a tiny boot, but this is a moderate, what I call moderate in, interaction from the guide, right? If they don't move when you gently pull the reins or tap them with your heel, you kick them, right? And a horse, you don't hurt the horse. They're a big, strong animal. You kick them, and then that usually gets them to go where you want them to go. If that doesn't work, and I've seen this happen too with people who are horse people. It's alarming when you first see it, but I've seen horse people. They will haul off and punch a horse in the rear end as hard as they can, or at least it looks as hard as they can, right? If the horse won't go with a moderate nudge, you punch it in the ass, and it usually moves, right? Careful it doesn't move that foot in your direction, but that usually does the trick, right? Another version of that is the spurs, right, which are not necessarily ethically friendly, but if you're a cowboy, you may disagree with that, and that's okay. But for these purposes, let's just call it you're strongly motivated with a punch or a spur, right? Something sharp. That's how I think that unfortunately coaching has to happen because people are stubborn, right? That's how I've been guided in my life by forces bigger than me. And I think that's how God of the universe is set up. Now, one of my favorite, I mentioned Coty Walker. She's one of my favorite. She's a friend, one of my favorite coaches, and one of the members of the cohort that I founded. And she's set to be one of the speakers, one of the presenters and panelists at an event that we're putting on as the cohort coming up in October. Anyways, Coty has this saying, and I just read an email she sent yesterday. She said, transformation begins with clarity, right? And I've taken Coty's Clarity Catalyst course. She's running that starting next week. She's got a few spots. She's only got 2 spots left, is what I've heard. But this thought that transformation begins with clarity is so key, I think, because if you can't articulate where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to become, how you want your life to look different, you can't at least complete the transformation. You'll be able to get started down the journey, but you won't be able to fully complete it until you clarify that. And I think if you clarify it at the beginning, the direction you go will be more clear, obviously, but also you'll waste less time, energy, and effort and money pursuing that transformation. And you'll have more success faster, and you'll see more motivation to keep going and to keep progressing on your transformation. So yes, transformation begins with clarity. And I've taken Coty's course. I've taken her Clarity Catalyst course last fall, and it quite literally transformed the direction of my own life. So how it did that, here's how it did that. I was working at a company where I did not fit. I was very unhappy for a number of reasons, but it became clear to me it wasn't a good fit as I became more clear in who I was and what I wanted through this Clarity Catalyst course. The company had changed their focus, their client focus, so much from when they founded to where it was at this point that it was completely unrecognizable. And in my estimation, it had abandoned the exact clients that made it successful, and said, well, we don't care about you anymore, virtually, and focused on a totally different class of clients. And in my opinion, also the advisors, they also abandoned the advisors that connected with, communicated best with the clients that they were founded upon. So in favor of, easy money, not as easy money, but large, big money, easy money compared to dealing with lots of their traditional client base. So I was unsettled by that. I didn't like it. It made me very unhappy to be there. And so after taking Cody's course, I quit working with that company. I founded two of my own companies, Arctic Fox Financial and Coach Cory Vance. And I also founded the cohort, which I've talked a lot about in previous videos that I posted here on this channel. You don't have to quit your current gig necessarily. You don't have to start three companies, but you do, and I believe you do want some kind of a transformation in your own life, and I respect that, and I love that because you want to be better, you want to be the best you can be. So here's a plan. How can you do that? I mentioned hiring a coach, finding a guide. A great way to do that is to begin with. Coty's Clarity Catalyst course. And begin by finding some clarity in your life, right? You can take this course. Coty has been on this exact show. I think it was episode number 2, Coty. So you can go back and watch that, Coty Walker, so you can get a sense for who she is and how she is as a guide. But I encourage you to take her course, the Clarity Catalyst course. I'm going to put the link up here now, and I'm going to leave it up for a while. This is her course link. It starts, the next intake is Tuesday. So what you want to do is you want to go to this link and you want to scroll down, read what's there. Scroll down a bit to where it says, contact me. What exactly does it say? Let me open that. I read it yesterday. It says schedule a call. So click on that link, go to that link, read it, scroll down to schedule a call, and schedule a call with Coty to talk about whether this is a good fit for you or not. And I know Coty very well, and she will tell you if she feels like this is not a good fit for you. She would rather you wait and take it at a different time or take a different course or use a different guide than take a course that's not right for you or the timing is not right for you. She will honestly tell you that. So if she didn't, I wouldn't be confident recommending her or her course to you. So step number 1 to get you down that road to transformation is begin with clarity and take that course. Follow that link. So the second thing you want to do is, it's an 8-week course. Spend 8 weeks absorbing, processing, and integrating everything you've learned in that course. It is a really good course. Like I said, I've taken it, so I can attest to that. The third thing that will happen when you do that is you're going to watch yourself and your life transform as you learn and integrate an awareness of the things of who you really are, what you really want to be, become, and do and have in your life, and how to get more of what you want in your life, how to create a greater impact in your own life and in the lives of others. Again, I took it. It was one of the single best decisions and commitments I ever made. I committed to doing it. I didn't just show up. I did the homework, and it's something that anybody that's serious about transforming their life can do. So again, go to the link on your screen now. Take the Clarity Catalyst course. At least schedule that call with Coty ASAP, because the course starts on Tuesday coming up, 6 days from now. So do that. So now you can keep doing what you're doing. You can continue being frustrated. You can continue feeling stuck, watching others progress or seemingly progress towards their goals and dreams and towards the transformation that they're after in their life, while your dreams slowly slip away. That'd be really tragic. I hope you don't do that. Or you can start to experience a new you, whether it's with Coty and her program or whether it's with another guide or coach. You can start to experience a new you, and you can stop feeling stuck in old patterns, habits, ways. You can be the you that you've always wanted to express, and the new you become the new you that you've always wanted to become, and free yourself from chains of who other people think you should be and who you thought you had to be. So ideally, from this, a transformation will begin, and the transformation will be complete in your life, right? From unsure of how to start and how to even get clear on exactly what you want, where you want to go, to a new, more whole, more content version of yourself, a you that you really want to become. So you can go from being easily frustrated to a better, more fulfilling life. And that's what I want to see for you. And I hope you'll take action on that today. You can have a life that is waiting for you to begin. that life you imagine. It'll be different than exactly you imagine it, but if you commit yourself to that transformation, I promise it'll be actually better than you imagine it could be. Less frustration, more peace. You'll understand yourself better, what you want, who you want to be, and what you need to do to have that. So, thanks again for being here today. I'm going to sign off. It's been amazing, and I hope you like the cowboy hat. It will not be here next week. Actually, might be. I have an event on the 14th evening, so I might do one more episode with the cowboy hat, just as we close off Stampede here in Calgary. But it's been wonderful being with you here today. I'm sorry I missed you last week, and I'm sad that I had to delay things again two days this week. But a rare Wednesday edition of Monday Morning Mindset Masterclass. The plan is to be back next Monday with episode 9, and we're going to maybe wrap up this five-part section with a summary. Maybe something else will happen. But I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing you there, and I look forward to your comments. I look forward to hearing that you contacted Coty and chatted with her about being in this course. All right, take care. And we will see you next week. Let's have some outro music. Let's do that. Love this music. We got it? We got it? How do we get our music? Where's my music? There we go.